something that I tweeted on Sunday, and you can follow me on Twitter, and my YouTube username and Twitter handle are the same, so we can talk Bills, we can talk other sports, we can talk whatever, basically, on there, try to get around everybody. It's a good place for conversation. I'm here for you. I'm here for you guys, and you guys are here for me. So it's just me replaying the favor. That's all that is. Anyway, on Sunday I tweeted that I never actually believed in, like, curses. You know, there's some famous sports curses out there, like the curse of the Bambino on the Red Sox, which was ultimately broken, and like the curse of the Billy Goat on the Cubs, which is ultimately broken, and the Madden curse, which is ultimately broken. Like, there's just they're just incredible statistics that, like, bear down the sports franchises and their fans are reminded of constantly. It's not really a curse. It's just an incredible drought or statistic of, you know, for whatever reason, whatever fans want to make it out to be. That's what they are. They're not really real. It's just something to have fun with as a sports fan. But I think Nathan Peterman might actually be cursed. I'm not totally convinced, but I can't tell you he isn't for sure. Because some of the things that happen to this man on the football field are just incredible. Just completely mind-blowing. That some of the things that happen to him happen once or twice to people in a game. Or in a season. Once or twice to teams in a season are happening 2 to 3 times in a game to this particular guy. Like, I felt bad for him on the Kroom fumble where you see him chasing him down. He's like, it almost felt like he's like, is this happening to me? And it was, which that play is not his fault. And then he comes back and hits Terrell Pryor right in the chest, but Pryor turns and the ball flies up in the air and he goes down as an interception. And then Zay Jones gets hit in the arm and gets tackled before the ball gets there. And gets tackled before the ball gets there. Ball hits him in the arm, pops up into the sky, right to, was it Leonard Floyd, or right to whoever the Bears defender was, and onto the end zone for the touchdown. And I'm just like, I'm standing there watching, like, honestly, without like a reaction. I'm just like, this is unbelievable. This is like an act. I'm watching a curse living, like, just playing out live. Like, the Zay Jones play, that's hysterical to me. Because you're the Bills, you don't get that call. The league is throwing pass interference on anything, on everything. Receivers get up and they go like this and they throw the flag. The fans make loud noises and they throw the flag. But because you're starting Nathan Peterman, because you're the Bills, because you statistically have this terrible offense, you don't get the benefit of the doubt on that call, and you don't get it. And Sean McDermott, after the game, explained that he was told because he was within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage that they don't call it. I'm like, is that really a rule? I didn't look it up, but is that really a rule? It can't be a rule. It doesn't change the fact that Peterman is throwing a pass to this guy who is attempting to catch it and gets mauled before the ball gets there. Like, forget about the fact that it goes off the arm and gets returned for a touchdown. Of course it does, because he's Nathan Peterman. But, like, that's a penalty. That defines pass interference. Anyway, I digress. It's just amazing that the Bills are in this position in the first place, having to start Nathan Peterman. We've talked about that in the past couple of weeks. I'm not in the business of placing blame. I'm just like, here we are. What's done is done. This is a situation where when we maybe get Josh Allen back this week, we'll talk about that in a little bit, and the Jets might lose Sam Darnold, so that's, you know, interesting, I suppose, because coming into this week, we're thinking maybe it's Sam Darnold versus Peterman, or Darnold versus Derek Anderson, and it might end up being Josh Allen versus Josh McCown, which is strange. But Jet fans, if you're watching, I'm going to get to that. I just got to give you some just crazy stats on this Bills offense, which is the worst in the league in terms of points scored. It's the worst it's ever been in 59-year history in terms of points scored. They're second last in yardage, 31st. So, here we go. These are all courtesy of Sal Majorana of the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle. And I'm just going to read these to you because you need to know. If you're a Bills fan, you don't know this, you need to know. Anyway, the last 6 games. In their last 6 games, the Bills have scored 3 touchdowns. 3. 46 total points. That's less than 7 points per game. 3 total touchdowns in their last 6 games. The opposing defenses have scored 4. So the Bills have been outscored on offense by the defenses they're going up against. Again, 3 touchdowns, 6 games. On Sunday, the Rams played the Saints. The Saints scored 3 touchdowns in 7 minutes and 11 seconds of game time in the second quarter. Hysterical. Nathan Peterman completed 31 passes on Sunday for 189 yards. That is the lowest yardage total for a quarterback with at least 30 completions in the history of the National Football League. Peterman's average yards per attempt was less than 4 yards. LaShawn McCoy's last 24 carries have gone for exactly 24 yards. That covers the last 3 games. The last 3 games. Granted, he only played 2 snaps against Indianapolis. 24 carries, 24 yards. On his last 21 carries, 11 yards. Amazing. During his 141-game NFL career, he has only 10 single games where he carried at least 10 times and gained 24 yards or less, let alone 24 yards in 3 games. That's a direct quote. 5 of those 24 and under games have been this season. The Bills scored a meaningless touchdown against the Bears in the fourth quarter. It ended a streak of 38 consecutive possessions without a touchdown, going back to Peterman's touchdown pass to Zay Jones against Houston. Going back all the way to the end of the first half, where they led 27-0 against Minnesota, the Bills have 3 touchdowns on 77 possessions. Insane. These stats won't shock you. 19 games without a 100-yard receiver. Deontay Thompson was the last guy. 26 games without a 300-yard passer. Tyrod Taylor did that in overtime against Miami. That is the only one in the last 58 games. And think about it, there's the Nick Mullins of the world are coming into the game, didn't throw for 300 yards, but he threw for 260 and 3 touchdowns. Nick Mullins in one game threw for 3 touchdowns. The Bills have 3 on the season. Anyway, in the first half, the Bills have been shut out 5 times, and in the first half of their 7 losses, they've been outscored 141-9. Holy moly. Since 1940, the Bills are one of only 13 teams that have scored 8 touchdowns or fewer in its first 9 games. Wow. These are just... There's a little bit more in there, but unbelievable. Whoa. That's why I've seen people posting on social media lately, why are people acting surprised that the Bills are this bad? I knew. Everyone's I knew. I mean, everyone pats themselves on the back a little bit, and myself included. That I knew the Bills were going to take this step back, or that's a reasonable thing to say. I knew the Bills would take a step back, or I had a feeling the Bills would take a step back. But to be I knew they were going to be bad because of this, and you have your reasons, of course. And I didn't have those reasons. I thought the Bills were going to be equally as good, but injuries to Josh Allen and underestimating how much worse it could get on offense. I was one of those guys. The Bills were 31st in passing the football. How much worse could it possibly get? And oh my God, it's worse. So here I am eating the crow. So I know that fans are there's still the Tyrod Taylor. Why'd you get rid of Tyrod Taylor fans out there? And I stick to that decision. I think in retrospect it might have been smart to hold on to Taylor. I don't know what the cap ramifications would have been exactly. But I know that teams find ways to move money around all the time to maybe keep Tyrod Taylor and then still draft Josh Allen. That would seem in retrospect, the most likely thing. Anyway, fans are talking about how they knew that this would happen, and I don't buy that. There's no way you knew that the Bills were going to be maybe the worst offense in the history of the National Football League. There's just no way. With the 3rd best defense in the league in terms of yards, which is amazing. And 26 in points because their offense is giving up more points than the defense. The Bills, on Sunday, the Bills gave up, here you go. One team had 264 yards and 22 first downs. One team had 190 yards and 11 first downs. 190 yards, 11 first downs was the Bears. The Bears had 190 yards and 11 first downs and won by 32. Simply stunning. Staggering. Unbelievable. Whatever kind of words you want to put in there. Anyway, this week, the Jets. Josh Allen is limited in practice. Looks like he might play. Do they play him? Maybe. Do they give him that extra week because then he gets the bye week next week to rest up? I want to see him play. I think it's the only thing worth watching really at this point because, because obviously you need that answer. You need to know what you're getting out of Josh Allen, and hopefully he learned some things by charting plays on the sidelines and just sort of taking the game in, because that was your plan for him really all along, that you had to abandon 35 minutes into the season because your competition blew up in your face that quickly. Excuse me. Still overcoming a little bit of last week's sickness. From the Jets' perspective, they have lost 3 games in a row. They scored 6 points last week. Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. They are going... The Bills are going up in terms of points scored. The Bills went from 5 to 6 to 9. The Jets in the last 3 games have gone from 17 to 10 to 6. So, like, this game, I really don't even know what to expect. Josh McCown might be a bit of a temporary upgrade for the Jets. I'm sure they want Darnold to play because they want him to continue to, learn through playing or develop by playing. But in terms of, like, one game, winning a game, maybe Josh McCown's the better fit there. I'm not saying that they shouldn't play Darnold. They should play Darnold when he's healthy because he's the future, and obviously. But maybe for beating the Bills on Sunday, Josh McCown might be better at that. He did last year. You might remember in New York on the Thursday Night Football game, the Bills were down 34-7. I think they ended up losing like 34-21 or 34-20, something like that. But, and it was like, I think it might have even been like 7-7 or 14-7 in the first half or something. It was close in the first half, 10-7 at halftime. And then suddenly Josh McCown's running for touchdowns, just throwing the ball all over the yard, whatever. He had 18 touchdown passes last year, completed 67% of his passes in 13 starts. So he's not, I'm not going to say he's a terrible player. I think he has the respect of the locker room. And it's just the Jets have been struggling so much lately. Not so much on defense, but definitely on offense. And they're 3-6. In their 3 wins, they've scored at least 34 points. In their 6 losses, they've scored 17 points or less. So there's a telling statistic if I've ever seen one. The defense, I'm going to give a lot of credit to. Jamal Adams, one of my favorite players coming out of the draft last year, he's already like the captain of that defense. He breathes life into them, and takes it away subsequently because he has I don't want to say an attitude problem, but like he has that like fire that it can. I don't know. I feel like he kind of loses his temper sometimes. I don't want to call it an attitude though. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like he just loses his temper sometimes, and it affects the entire unit negatively. But they lead the league in 3-and-outs. The Bills are actually 8th in the league in forcing 3-and-outs. They are 13th against the pass and 18th against the run. So kind of a middle-of-the-road defense there, but I think they're pretty talented. They got a lot of talent all over the field there. I just think that they really need to move on from Todd Bowles, to be honest with you. Thought that for years because I can't really make the face, but every time they show Todd Bowles on TV, let me see, I'm gonna try to look. He's got this this thing going on, and he's looking up at the scoreboard or something, and it's dude, are you even paying attention? I've never even seen him uttering words during a game. I've watched some of his press conferences, but during a game, I've never actually seen him speak. So, I'm going to pick the Jets. I think McCown might make a difference, and I don't know if Josh Allen's going to play. I hope he does. But I'm going to pick the Jets to beat the Bills 18-15, something weird. That might even be overdoing it. I don't know. Guys, hit me up on Twitter. Like I said earlier in the video, my Twitter handle and YouTube username are the same. Let me know what you're thinking. What do you think? You probably don't want to rush Allen back, but do you want to see him play? Are you going to watch these games just to see Allen play? enjoy your weekend, guys. Thanks for coming this far in the video. And as always, above all else, go Bills.